What is going on, everybody? Blazing here. Welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video, and today we are talking Orc Faction Wars. Now, this one is going to be quite challenging if you don't have a few key champions, Warlord being one of them. That doesn't mean that it's going to be an absolute disaster for you. If you did go for the Packmaster and his Puppy Fusion, you're going to be okay. You'll have some pretty good nukage throughout the ways. But some of the trials are very, very difficult to complete. You need to have a pretty solid team to get this done. And you need to have the gear for it because this faction has a gear check. All right, stage 1, 10 plus provokes. Now we have, this is it. You've got Geralt, Iron Brago, you've got Sandlash Survivor, you have Duck the Pierce. And then you actually have a call out here with Waterboy. He's got one ability only. Put him in a relentless set, give him some accuracy, and you know what? He's going to get this stage done for you. You can bring him in at like level 5, level 50, use him for a chicken afterwards. But probably your best way to go is going to be Waterboy. It's going to be pretty easy, right? Everybody else is, again, situational. I mean, you have Iron Brago that can do it on his A3, attacks all enemies. But you're going to be recycling through a lot of these. You really want somebody that's going to come in, not going to do a lot of damage, keep your opponent CC'd, and that's it. Stage 2 is going to be just breathe, take your time. 10 plus stun debuffs, right? Now, what I did here is wave 1, I killed Sepulchre Sentinel. I just did as many A1s as I possibly could with Robar, because Robar has it on the A1. I just extra turn if this debuff was played successfully in a relentless set. Go, just make it easy for yourself, right? Don't let Sepulchre Sentinel revive. Don't let her come up at all, because if she places that block debuffs, it's going to be a problem. I completed this with wave 1. I did not move on to wave 2 or 3 until I had it done, because it is the chances are very low, and I'm being on an A1. It's just very, very tedious to get this stage done, but it can be done. Stage 3, reduce 6 plus enemies HP by 50% with 1 skill. Easiest way for me to get this done is I put Zargala fast, had her put the decreased defense down, and then I used my Growhawk, right? Wave 1, I got 3 done. Wave 2, I got 3 done. And then wave 3, I said, no way in hell am I going to deal with the Dunedain and the Belva. So I just nuked that wave as quickly as I possibly could. Now, if you do have the Doggo, you can use him. You could also build Zargala as a nuker and go into the A3 if you can get her. With enough ignored defense, she should do it for you. I have a 4-star. I have a +4, 5-star, sorry. And she does nuke, right? Honestly, at this point, what you're looking for is any champion with the highest amount of crushing rend that you can put on is going to do phenomenal for you on this stage. Single target champions, if you can't be fast enough to get it done with like an AoE, then you want to focus single target champions one at a time. Try to just keep them CC'd if you possibly can. Locked out with Warlord. If not, it is what it is. Now, obviously, if you have a Seer, it's a GG, right? Wave 1, you go in, you nuke. Wave 2, you reset everything. And then wave 3, this is the one time where you can go back in and just nuke everybody. That said, if you don't have a Seer, that can become a problem for you. All right, moving on to stage 4. Now here is going to be a little bit of fun if you don't have yourself a Warlord. Manipulate skill cooldowns 10 times. Honestly, guys, your best shot's going to be getting a Terror Beast at like level 50, relentless set, A1, attacks one enemy, has a 20% chance, books up to 30 of increasing the cooldown of one of the target's skills at random. And then if you have yourself a 2-hawk, the Wanderer does the same thing, attacks one enemy. Each hit has a 30% chance of increasing the skill's cooldown by 1 turn, and it books up to 40%. Now, again, Warlord makes this easy. If you have dang Skull Reap, he does manipulate his own skill cooldowns if he kills somebody. Honestly, though, at this stage, you don't want to be killing anybody. You want to make sure that you just try to get it done A1, as quickly as possible. So just go A1s, A1s, A1s between Tuhawk and Terror Beast, and you're going to be perfectly fine. For me, I did use Garrel because Garrel can do it on his A1. I just had him built, right? If I didn't have him built, I'd be looking at one of these two guys. And then, Warlord makes it pretty easy, right? Place 10 plus HP burns is what we're looking for on stage 5. If you have yourself an Artec, GG, it's good. Supreme Gaelic, or Ultimate Gaelic, sorry, can come in as well too. And he can do it if he has an increased attack up, which then makes Old Hermit Jorg even more of a sought after champion because he brings in the increased attack. And then on the A1, he brings in a HP burn. And then last but not least, we have Tila, who has an AoE HP burn on everybody. So it is definitely easy for us here. Other than that, there's not a lot of champions. If you don't have one of these guys, oh boy, is this going to be a unachievable stage for you, right? Especially because we don't have any gear sets that give you HP burn, not like poison when we have a toxic set. So who knows? Maybe the next gear set that player puts out is going to have HP burn placed by, I don't know, a 2-piece set. What do you guys think? Stage 6, increase your turn meter 40 times or manipulate turn meter 40 times. Now, what do we have here? We've got Old Hermit Jorg that can do it on his A2 here, increases everybody's by 20%. You have Ultimate Gaelic that can do it on the A3 if there's an HP burn out there already on an AoE, so that can help. You have Rask that can do it on the A1, so if you put him in a Relentless set, as long as you have 100% crit rate, you're good to go. It on her A2, so you can use her as well. And then last but not least, we have a Packmaster Syac that can do it on his A3. So we have plenty of options, especially because Packmaster Syac was one that we recently were able to obtain. But if not, your MVP here is going to be Old Hermit Jorg. Wave 1 and 2, get this done. When you get to wave 3, nuke that Torment as fast as possible. All right, moving on to stage 7. If you do not have a block debuff champion, you're going to be a little challenged with this one, I should say. Mostly because it is going to be nothing but A1s, right? So we don't have any champions here that can cleanse. If you have a Warlord or a Raka, you're going to want to bring them in. If not, the Doggo and Packmaster Syac is going to be the absolute beast that you want for this boss. There's not going to be anybody else. If you can tame the turn meter with a Grohack the Bloodied because he'll steal it, you could be okay. Putting the decrease speed on the boss as well too can help you. I used him on this faction, made it very easy because I completed it prior to the Doggo being live. So he was really a key champion for especially a lot of the stages here in the boss stages. That said, Old Hermit Jorg is going to be an MVP for these boss stages, especially if you do not have a Raka. Back at it again, stage 8, we are needing to be placing a minimum of 15 provokes. So again, wave 1, wave 2 is what we got to get it done. Kill the Duchess on wave 1 and then Mausoleum Mage and just try to A1 as much as possible, right? Wave 2, you have a Sepulchre Sentinel on, so kill her and then just A1 as much as possible. Try not to get into wave 3 having more than maybe 1 or 2. If you do get to wave 3, with that said, you want to kill the Blind Seer as quickly as possible. Do not provoke Foley. He will nuke, okay? Remember, Foley equals death. AoE, block revive, and you're done. Stage 9, absolute cancer. We got to put 15 plus provokes up, and we have a Jing Wang and an Elva. It's tough. It's tough, right? Jing Wang needs to be priority kill target number 1, so you need to get rid of him. You need to keep the Elva tamed, right? So here again, you're going to find yourself just being very, very frustrated. So just breathe, take your time, one at a time. After you kill the Elva and Jing Wang, just make sure that your priority is always going to be Padrig, because he does have the cleanse on him as well too. So you got to keep them controlled. Other than that, best of luck to you, because it's very frustrating. You're going to spend a lot of time trying to complete this stage. It's just It's a lot of fun. Stage 10, use 3 epics. I mean, take your pick. You want Seer, Old Hermit Jorg, you want Duck the Pierce, Sargella. I mean, almost any epic other than maybe Shaman would be great for this stage, right? You just need them to come in, do some work. Obviously, if you have Seer, just bring her in, blow the waves up. You're going to be done. Nice and easy. Stage 11, we are looking for as many block debuffs as possible. Actually, a strong candidate here is Veteran on the A3. Attacks all enemies, has a 60% chance on a 3-turn cooldown to place a block buffs, right? Damage increase according to this champion's max HP. So that can be very, very helpful. If you do have Packmaster Syak, he can do it. I believe it's on the A3 right here. Give you some turn meter boost. Bezel can do it. I think it's on right here. Attacks all enemies on the A3. Gives you a leech as well too. And then if you're really, really desperate, you can get a single target with a block active skills from Yalagrina. Honestly, single target nukers, as we've talked about in past videos, are going to be absolutely crucial for these. Wave 1, the priority target would probably be Blind Seer, and then I would say Mausoleum Mage. Wave 2, you don't really have anything too crazy, whatever's giving you the most problems. Wave 3 is actually going to be Eric's. Remember, guys, Eric's equals death. Stage 12, increase buff or debuff durations. Now, the MVP here is going to be Artak with his A1, giving you an increase on HP burns. Tila can actually do the same thing. I believe is on her A3, right? Warlord does it on his A1. Sandlash Survivor will give you a buff increase on the A2. So if you put him in a Relentless set, and then Iron Brago does it on his A1, decreasing the duration of all buffs by 1 turn. So you have a few options here. There is Lubraga who can come in as well too, but she has it on the passive. So it is a very time-gated one. What I will say here is you're probably better off killing Alva and the Ruella right off the bat, and then trying to complete as much of this as possible between wave 1 and wave 2. Leave Dudan up to just cleanse. That way you can get more buffs up, because he's only going to have a cleanse on the A1, right? Sandlash is actually not a bad decision to bring in because he does have the provoke on the A1 and can help you in later down the line at keeping Samson at bay, which is going to be a little bit of a problem for you, especially if you're bringing in squishy nukers, right? So just breathe, relax, one at a time. Single target nukers is what you want to bring here. No AoE. Relentless, Merciless, and Reflex sets are going to be some of the best ones you can put on a lot of these champions to bring those cooldowns back as much as possible. All right. Stage 13, defeat 3+ enemies while using ally attack or counter attack skills. Here's the thing. If you got Packmaster and the doggo, you're good. Go. Got it done. If not, you're going to need Krila, right? There's not a lot of other champions that have counter attack or that have ally attack that are going to be able to do a lot of work for you on this stage. So these are pretty much the key to success here. Stage 14, we're at the blue boss. Now here, bringing in a block debuffs is going to be absolutely very, very crucial. The A1 will counterattack every time you hit one of the ads. So you're going to bring in the doggo here because it's one of the best nukers. That said, you got to be prepared for as much as you possibly can with the True Fear because we do not have solid cleansers here. Ally attack, if you have a Krila, does work out pretty well. Bring a leech. You're gonna need it. The main focus with this boss is gonna be just try to go as single target nukes as possible with everybody else other than the doggo. Keep your champions alive because it's going to be very challenging. And then whoever your support is, your reviver, needs to have a minimum of 500 resistance to be able to not have a problem reviving because you will die. All right, so for orcs, stage 15 is going to be one of the hardest ones, and that is because they have wave 1 has a Nell, so you can't buff up a lot to enable Seer. Wave 2 has a Jingwong, so you can't CC them at all. And wave 3 has a Torment and a Molly, along with the Mountain King and everybody's favorite thing, stone skin. So you got a lot of things that you got to try to counter here. Number one, I would say if you have Warlord, he's going to be your best friend. Bring him in and just keep everybody locked out as much as possible, right? If you have a Seer, you can bring her in for wave 3. Try to not go too crazy, right? Because you can't let anybody die. Unless you have like some super tremendous luck and are able to kill everything wave 1, reset on wave 2 somehow, which faction it's not really the best. I don't think there is actually any skill cooldown resets, to be honest. So you would have to look for like a reflex set or refresh accessory. So that's the problem. Now you could build yourself the doggo really, really slow and a packmaster really, really fast, and just go pure nuke with him. That said, it won't work well on stage 3, right? On wave 3, you would need to have that HP burn or you would need to have that seer strip. So you could go about it with that strategy and making sure that, you know, Packmaster just goes A1, A1, A1 in a relentless set. And then the dog just counterattacks as much as possible or ally attacks as much as possible. And then, you know, Seer is going to have to be quite fast for wave 3 to be able to strip that stone skin and then have the dog nuke everything. Be careful with Mountain King. He's magic affinity, the doggo's magic affinity, so he's not going to kill Mountain King. You still need to keep him locked out, and I would put the doggo in like a 4-piece stone skin and lethal. Stage 16, you've got to take 4+ enemies down before they take a turn. Obviously, this one, your easiest bet is going to be getting this done in wave 1. And the best way to do that is making sure that you have Packmaster Syac and the doggo. Making sure A1s as much as possible. Having the doggo be faster this time because you want to attack before they take the turn. So it'll make it pretty easy. Ally attacks are going to be absolutely crucial here, especially if you have the dog. And that's pretty much about it. If you can land the decreased defense before they go, to give the dog the extra nukage power, then great. If not, don't worry about it. Moving on to stage 17, this is going to be do not land weak hits. And I'm going to tell you right off the bat, if you do not have a Raka and you bring in a different support, which is going to be magic affinity for a reviver, this ultimate death knight is going to absolutely destroy you. Seer is the key here, guys. Right? Wave 1, blow the ads up. Wave 2, reset all your cooldowns. And it's probably going to be the worst stage to reset the cooldowns. Now, if you have 2 Seers like I did, it makes the waves pretty easy, right? I built 1 really, really strong, 1 semi-strong to be able to knock out most of the waves on round 2. And then just kind of got back to my A3 with the Calmer Bird. That way I can nuke the ultimate death knight, but it is going to be very, very challenging here. Again, remember the key thing with this stage is going to be if you are bringing a weak affinity support. So if you're going to bring something that's magic affinity, make sure that your void nukers are dealing with ultimate death knight or any force champion right off the bat. All right, as for stage 18, this is going to be an absolute disaster. We need to kill 3+ enemies with 7 or more buffs on us, right? You cannot bring in Seer. Seer cannot nuke the waves if you have 7 buffs because the moment she strips the buffs, it doesn't count. So what I did here is I used whatever I possibly could, shield sets, right? Immunity sets on champions. Ideally, it was Duck the Pierce that got it done for me. Ideally, what you're looking to do is put your champ in stone skin, slow, lethal, right? Really, really hard hitting. Buff him up with as many buffs as you possibly can during wave 1. And then let him loose, right? AoE hitter is going to be the best. I used Duck the Pierce because I did not have the doggo. You could do the same thing with the doggo, right? Just make sure that with the doggo, if you're going to use Packmaster Syac, don't. And that's mostly because the problem is going to be once Packmaster Syac gets attacked, because he will, the doggo is going to go ahead and counterattack. So if you have enough buffs already on him and you can get a lot of these champions in like Relentless set, you should be okay to bring in both Packmaster and the doggo, especially because on wave 3, you do have the Faction Unity champion, which is an absolute disaster to deal with. And then on wave 2, you do have the Nell, so it will come in quite helpful. But that said, this is a trial that you have to complete on wave 1. Do not go into wave 2 or wave 3 without completing this. Moving on to stage 19, do not let your enemies use any active skills. Okay, so call out here is going to be Warlord, the Doggo, and Packmaster Shayak. Now, the problem you're going to have is wave 1 has a Galathier. So even if you do manage to lock him out, the problem you're going to have is he's going to go into form 2 and then he's going to lock you out. So you have to bring a provoke, you have to bring some sort of stun, something to kill him, right? Other than that, what you can really do is really kind of key in on the Packmaster and his puppy while keeping everybody controlled with CC or lockout. It is a very time gated. I will tell you, you're going to get to stage 3 and something's going to happen. The Arbiter is going to take a turn, or Lysandra is going to take a turn, or Fina, and you're going to just remember it's not your phone's or your computer's fault that this was put out like this, right? That said, if you do have a really fast Packmaster Sayak, you can bring him in with a Relentless set and just pray to God that you can get enough A1s before the opponent goes. Again, here, Warlord, Control, Packmaster Sayak, and the Doggo are going to be your key to success. You can also bring in Seer, but it's going to be a lot more harder to make her work, especially because if you don't have a lot of buffs. Unless you got like 2 or 3 Seers, then you're going to be okay. But if you don't, it's going to be very hard to try to get her to work. Stage 20, keep all your champions above 75% HP. Hedgie is not going to be a problem if you bring in a shield set. You should be okay. The problem you will have is on wave 3 with that Eric's. She will come up, she will nuke, and you're going to find yourself being really frustrated. CC and lockout are going to be huge here, right? Ideally, what you want to do is you want to build the dog in Stone Skin Lethal really slow, Packmaster Sayak in a Relentless set. Whatever your support is going to be, you want to put them in a shield set or a bolster set, just something massive. It is very difficult because with this faction in particular, there's not a lot of champions that will heal, right? You've got Warlord, you've got Raka, you have, what's his name, Vrask that can come in and do some healing, but it is going to be very challenging to keep everybody about 75% HP. So key things are going to be fast. You're going to really heavily rely on keeping the Doggo and Packmaster. I mean, for this faction, these two are mostly MVPs. If you have them, a Warlord, you're going to be okay. But it is going to be, again, very challenging. Hedgie is not going to be the problem. You're going to find yourself, after everybody else starts going, they're going to be the problems. Resistance on your champions to avoid Hedgie's lockout is going to be a big thing for you. Purple Boss, stage 21, absolute cancer. Guys, the only thing you can do here is either build resistance on every single champion, and bring nothing but HP nukers in. It is absolutely hard. I mean, even at the stage where I'm at right now, where I've already cleared it, this is the team I work with. It succeeds most of the time. I probably got like a 50% win rate, to be quite honest, on doing this on full auto. If I manual it, I could probably get it done. It's just when you get to round 3, the boss will destroy you. Protection sets are going to be key here, right? You have to have protection sets. I have both protection sets on my Raka and my Warlord. I have enough accuracy to lock out wave 1 and wave 2. Wave 2 is actually a horrible horrible way to get this done because they put the faction unity champion and a Jingwang. So without lockout, it is an absolute just, I can't imagine what people are doing, right? You can't blow the boss up with Seer, although you could if you time everything properly to make sure that you strip all of your buffs, right? But again, you're going to get that block active skills with the A1, which is going to be very, very hard to try to get back to those. The HP exchange is going to happen, so you do need a solid support to come in and keep you back up, or a leech. Avoid bringing increase attack, decrease attack, right? Those are going to hurt you. They're going to turn around and you're either not going to hit hard enough or the boss is going to hit too hard. Same thing with increased defense and decreased defense. Don't bring those in. Weaken, same thing with that. Focus on poisons, HP burns, focus on no healing, right? Make sure you're trying to bring in pure healing, not heals over time. Those things are going to be absolutely detrimental. Like this boss, I don't know. I would like to find the person that designed this boss, and I have a few choice words for him. That said, I want to know from you guys in the comments down below, is Orc Faction Wars the hardest one for you? For me, it was actually Orgrin. Orcs was pretty tough. But that said, I still managed to do it. It just took a lot of time and patience. And after the dog was released, it made it much, much easier. If you guys enjoyed the content, make sure to smash that like button up. Consider subscribing to the channel. And if you have some time, join us every Sunday, 2 p.m. EST for the Knights of Teleria podcast, where we dive into the world of Raid Shadow Legends, discussing everything from free-to-play strategies to pay-to-win insight, and covering the journey from early to mid-game. Whether you're a newbie or a seasoned player, we have something for everyone. Don't miss out on the Knights of Teleria podcast, the only podcast for Raid Shadow Legends. As always, much love, much appreciation. Be safe, be well, be good to each other. I'll catch you guys next time.